Stat of the day, powered by Empire Electric, your residential neighborhood electrician. Visit empireelectricians.com today. According to this, the Sabres have a winning home record against the Leafs in every single decade, individually. This one, 2020s, they're 3-4. So, a lot of 2020s left. But how about a win tonight? We'll get this thing back to 500.
Big game tonight.
But a winning record in the 70s, and the 80s, and the 90s, and the 2000s, and the 2010s. And none of them are close. 17-10-2, 12-4, 6-3-2, 27-3, 16-6-1. They are 40 games over 500 against the Leafs here.
Yeah.
40 games over. And on the road, in Toronto, they have a winning record against the Leafs in Toronto as well.
Wow.
So, yeah, they consistently beat the Leafs and almost nobody else. No, sorry, the cheap shot, we're remembering good times.
To this point, during the drought, there are only... I'm working it the other way. There are only 4 teams that don't have a better than a 500-point percentage in Buffalo. Toronto has a 462. Toronto is 10-12-4 here.
During the drought.
During the drought.
Yeah.
Where they've been good the whole time. Almost the whole time.
Most of it.
Yeah.
Competitive for the part, and then, very good for a lot of it.
That's one of them. There's 2 teams worse than them. This would be tough. How would you get this? Ottawa has a 481 win percentage. That's better. LA, who is 3-5-3, 409. And then the worst record in Buffalo during the drought, Vegas. 2-4-1.
That's funny.
It's only 7 games. But Toronto, it's in 26 games that team has 24 points here.
Yeah. Well, Lindy at 8 o'clock on the Leafs before we get to some draft stuff. All right, let's go there. It's not quite let's get stupid, but I see it talked about a lot. You ready? You want to go there?
Yeah.
We have not had this conversation yet. Mitch Marner?
You're right. We have not had this.
We have not had this conversation.
Is that because it's stupid?
Is it stupid? Sabres Twitter has the Mitch Marner conversation all the time. Mm-hmm. And can the Sabres make that happen? It begins with the Sabres convincing an incredible player to commit your time here.
Right.
And that is not an easy sell, I don't think. I don't think things are as dark as they had been in certain years, but Marner is an unrestricted free agent.
Yep.
Just call him up. At the end of the season, ring. Have Josh Allen call him. Marner has been seen at Bills games, in Bills jerseys, fan of Josh Allen. I know that seems absurd, but it's really the only thing we can lean into, so we might as well talk about leaning into it.
I was going to say, isn't that kind of what makes it let's get stupid, that the first thing anybody ever gets to how to get him here is, he's a Bills fan.
Well...
And use Josh Allen to get him here, because what else are you going to use to get him here?
When the Knicks were courting LeBron James, they had Tony Soprano in a video for him.
Oh, okay, and they didn't get him.
I know they didn't get him. It's also New York, and it's the Knicks and all that, but Marner is an unrestricted free agent. The Sabres will definitely have the room to do it if they want to. Mm. And if they wanted to, you wonder if Kevin Adams looks to Jason Carmanos on a random Tuesday like today, and they're talking about the Leafs tonight, season's ending. Does Kevin Adams look at Jason Carmanos and say, let's get stupid? Marner? He might say, think we can do that?
Yeah.
Can we get that done? You'd have to call the owner, because that's what? $14 million a year?
Well,
the Sabres might be positioned. That's one point to make here. Are they positioned to pay him more than anybody?
Well,
they probably have the room.
Technically speaking, I think they are. Or they're at least close to it for next year. I can't imagine there's many teams that have more cap space than they will. And that's before knowing what the cap will be, but we think it's going to be in the 90s, $95 million.
And the Sabres are projected to have about $24 million in space.
Okay.
I bet there aren't that many teams that have that much space.
You know what might surprise you? They have, what was it, the number? $22 million in space?
Yeah, 24.
According to Puckpedia, that's kind of middle of the pack. It's kind of middle of the league.
Well, the difference might be...
The difference is they don't have any UFAs.
Right.
But Toronto has more space than them, but Toronto's got a bunch of players to sign that the Sabres don't.
The Sabres have
Marner and Tavares. And
the Sabres have Peterka, McLeod, Quinn, Byram.
Yeah.
And the question would be, like, all right, what's a better idea? 7 for Peterka or 14 for Marner? What's a better idea? 14 for Marner or 9 for Byram? I don't know what Byram's number is going to be right now. Who knows?
Right.
He's a tough one. But
yeah, I'm surprised by this that they are more middle of the pack. But again, like they have their whole team under contract already, right? Like there's room for 1 or 2 guys to come in here and be added to the mix, and that's pretty much it. So, but they still have the room. That being said, right? Like because they could sign nobody, just sign your guys back,
and have $20 million or whatever, $18 million in room.
Yeah. So do you want to give Marner the max? I would love to. Do you know what the max? Do you know what the max is?
Is it 15 next year?
It's 20% of the cap. So that
95. That's like 18 million.
19 million.
19 million.
19 million.
There's no chance on earth
that they would offer.
Anybody's going to
offer 19 million.
There's no chance on earth any NHL team gives him 19 million.
Is the team going to give him 15 million?
Isn't hockey the kind of sport that won't even justify McDavid or Matthews getting 19 million?
No.
Matthews might be the one to push it. Like Matthews, so far in his negotiations, he took a 5-year deal in Toronto, which was kind of a short one.
Yeah.
So he could get paid again. The cap goes up, and when his time comes,
you're right. It is very different where that I don't think this was true of McDavid. Has an NHL player ever signed for the max contract? Like it's on the books. There's a rule about it. You can't go over 20% of the cap. Has anybody ever done it? Whereas like in comparison to the NBA,
it's max contract every week.
Right. They're all max contracts.
Yeah.
And in the NHL, they just don't want to go near it.
I don't know why. Why do the players? I mean, the culture of it, I guess. The players at the top are going to leave room for other guys to get paid?
Because if Marner decided, I'm going to be the ultimate businessman here, and I'm going to ignore hockey culture and say, I'm not signing for anything less than the max. We're going to start doing things differently, and I'm going to be the first. I want the max. I want $19 million. Is anybody going to give it to him eventually? He might burn a lot of bridges along the way. He might find an organization that's willing to pay and is desperate enough to do it. It's a lot of room to have on your cap too. I mean, it's 20%, and it's not a hard cap. And maybe that's a good difference. Now that I'm playing this out of my head, the NBA does not have a hard cap.
Right.
They have a luxury tax. So the creating the room to plug that guy in at the max contract, that's not a thing. Whereas in the NBA, if you are, you're only $20 million below the cap, and this guy wants $40 million, you could do it. You can give him $40 million. You just have to pay extra for going over the cap. So that's probably why. I mean, you got to give him multiple millions more than anybody else, though, right? That's how you really get him here. It's not Josh Allen. It's not the Bills. I mean, maybe that's a sweetener, and that can help you get in the room. If he comes with you.
Have Josh Allen give him $19 million. He's got enough.
Right, like maybe. Money. Money's how you get him here. The money's the only reason you would get in the room. You might just end up getting played, they'll use, this happened with Babcock, right? They'll use you, the player will use you to get more money out of the places he actually wants to be. But hey, once in a while in sports, the guy just takes the bag.
Yep.
But the Sabres aren't getting him on their own reputation. They're not getting him on... with Marner, okay, the one other door I guess, creak open is the idea that he's from Mississauga. He's from local. I'm going to play we're close to Toronto card, right? But also that he has been, more than anyone else there, the lightning rod for why they can't win in the playoffs.
Blamed.
He's been blamed for not playing well when they get to the postseason. He's going to have 100 points this year. And if he has 5 points in 7 games and they get bounced in round 1, he's going to be the culprit.
And it won't be that they have to trade him this time or, you got to do something about this. They would just, all right, we'll let him walk. Because our fans, I'm not sure if they feel this way, but if they have a early exit, are they going to want to give him $15 million after another playoff disappointment?
Right.
The Leafs have...
and from his standpoint, does he want to continue to be... Like, how does it hit him mentally that he is the guy that is always... Last year, there was a video of Matthews and Nylander yelling at him on the bench. I'm sure that doesn't bleed over to now, but it happened then. Does he? My sales pitch to him would be, this is as close to home as you're going to get. You don't have to be in the circus and be the lightning rod anymore, and we're going to pay you. We're going to pay you more money than anybody else. Those are the three things you got to give him. And he's got to be motivated by all three. He's got to be motivated to be sick of being the lightning rod. He's got to be motivated to want to be close to home, and he's got to be motivated by money. And he's got to be the biggest Bills fan you've ever seen in your life. All of that.
Yep.
The closest max contract is when Alex Ovechkin signed his deal with the Caps in 2008. That was 16% of the cap at the time.
How about that? The biggest contract by cap percentage was 17 years ago.
Nobody's touched it.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't think it's realistic.
No, I don't either. But it's possible.
What if they did it? What if they pulled it off? How much does that change your opinion of them?
Well,
not even just them, but like next season, all of it. It would just be such a shock, like a culture shock to me of what they are if they were able to pull off something like that.
Isn't he, first off, he's not playing center for you. He's playing the wing, right?
He's played the wing his whole career. He was a center. We're doing the thing where he was a center early on. Mm-hmm. He's a winger. He's a winger.
But what I'm going for is,
he's a winger.
Right now, what do the Sabres have? They have, at center, are they feeling good about what they've got?
Probably.
They feel good? It's Josh Norris,
Kulik, McLeod, Krebs, and Tage can play center too.
Tage can, but I don't think... Maybe it's a question for Lindy Ruff. What are you doing with Tage next year? He's played center before. Now you've got him on the wing. He's close to 50 goals again. And, there are some guys that play the wing that can kind of run the game from the wing. Like Patrick Kane's a player that's done that for his career when he's over there. He can run. I feel like Panarin's another one. When he's on the wing, he can run the game.
I think Mark Stone is another player like that.
Okay.
He definitely does that.
And Marner is one of those players that even though he's on the wing, it's like there's a lot there. So... I don't know what the Sabres feel about their center depth. It used to be Tage is the number one center. You feel great about it. But if he's moved off that spot again, you don't have to necessarily fall directly into these categories. But how stupid is it to bring up the idea of chasing Marner? Will we get a report? He goes to the offseason. The Sabres have asked for a meeting. It's one of those spots where I tend to get cynical and say, well, the Sabres might want us to think they're after him, even if they think they can't get him. Mm-hmm. You pick up the brochure of the house you can't afford just to take a look at it. Maybe. Sabres and Leafs tonight.
Or do they not want to do that because they don't want to be embarrassed by he wouldn't even take a meeting with us?
But you don't even get that. You don't have to go that far. You could just say the Sabres have made a call, decided they're out. They're going to do their due diligence. Think about how much credit Brandon Beane gets for making calls. He's checking in on Devontae Adams. Like, oh, well, that's Bean. He's going to call everybody. Like, okay. Does Kevin Adams take a note from that and make sure that everybody knows he's calling on everybody, including Marner? It's possible.